Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your girl Linda from Run Naturally, and I am here because I am about to roll out a new series and really a new journey for my YouTube subscribers to follow. So I'm just going to give a little background before I really get into what I have got going on. So, at the beginning of the year, I decided to really engage in the 21-day Daniel fast. Okay, and so it was really an opportunity for me to go into a bit of reset, and not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. I had a lot of goals and a lot of positive things that I wanted to accomplish and I wanted to focus on for this year. And so I felt that a great way to do that would be to go into a state of fasting. Okay, and so I did that, like I said, at the beginning of the month. And then when the 21 days were up, I actually decided that, maybe it's time for me to embrace a plant based lifestyle and actually make this a lifestyle change. Okay, and so what I decided to do is really to document this journey with my YouTube subscribers. Okay, so this officially is my month one of being plant based. And so I'm just going to share with you for this month the pros and the cons, some of the positives and some of the not so positives, that I've been feeling and what I've been going through since adopting a plant based diet. Okay. So, definitely for the positives, I immediately began to see obviously a reduction in my weight, inches, etc. I definitely felt my energy level go up, and I will say that this month I was really into half marathon training. I ended up completing two half marathons this month. And so, not really having meat and dairy and fried foods and junk food as a part of my diet, it really helped me in terms of, my run training. I was running, much stronger, definitely more efficiently. So there were definitely positive. There were positives across the board with respect to how I felt running, and I actually ran a personal best in the half marathon for me. And that is a goal that I have been trying to achieve for a few years now. Really trying to get at that number, as I love to say, that magic number that I would have hit back in Freeport when I completed my third half marathon a few years back. And I was actually able to undercut, that time. And so, definitely from a physical standpoint and even from a mental standpoint, I just felt, more clear. I was definitely more organized, and it really set the pace for me to keep and maintain, good habits across the board. So, of course, for me, that was, making sure that I stayed on track with my to-do lists, making sure that, I stayed on track with my morning prayers, my meditations, and my affirmations, and using my gratitude journal on a daily basis. And in addition to making sure that I stay on track, because I'm currently in the middle of John Maxwell's Jumpstart Your Thinking. And, definitely, the gains that I saw, with respect to my business, my business has been really flourishing this month. So I've been seeing a lot of positives there. And so all around, it was just a lot of positives, a lot of, wins and different things to celebrate within this month, just being focused, like I said, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Okay. So, from a physical standpoint, in terms of the not so positives of going plant based this month, definitely the first week, I was really saddled with headaches, for a couple of days the first week. I think maybe that Thursday and that Friday, the headaches were just a lot. I was really starting to feel, kind of weak and almost was ready to kind of ditch, the whole plant based a couple of times. But, I stayed focused, during that time. And I really, pushed through and was really able to, be creative in terms of my meal planning and my options and my choices. Okay. So definitely, that feeling of, I've had, days where I've been feeling like no matter what I eat or what I prepare, it didn't really feel very filling, or not really having as much variety as I would like in terms of my meals. And that's definitely something that I think I'm going to work on, going as I progress, like I said, into a plant based journey lifestyle. Okay. So definitely the big thing was for me, and one of the things that I've decided to do as a part of my plant-based journey is to actually document my weight, because I will be totally honest and transparent with you guys. Coming towards the ending part of 2020, and particularly after I completed my Chicago virtual marathon, my eating habits have been absolutely deplorable coming to the end of the year, so much so that I probably didn't want to depress myself in terms of actually getting on a scale to see where I was at. But if it was just to gauge, my eating habits coming towards the end of the year, was absolutely atrocious. It was not in line or aligned with, some of the advice that I give my run group. And so I really realized, with respect to, my eating habits, that I really needed to lead by example in that regard, especially if I'm going to be, blogging and speaking and, talking about running and being healthy and having all of these healthy habits, and, on the verge of getting ready to launch a 21-day challenge, which I actually did this month. I realized, to me, I really had to practice what I preached. And so just gauging where I might have been at the time, and I mean weight wise at the time of this challenge, I would say, definitely I probably come down about 8 to 10 pounds this month, just being plant based. So I did weigh myself yesterday, and my current weight is 159.6. Okay, so I still have a few ways obviously to go, and like I said, this is going to be a journey for me. This is something that I plan to, adopt as a lifestyle change. And so I don't really want the focus to be so much on my weight, but just in terms of all of the other factors, the health factors that are going to be really positive and beneficial to me as I embark on this journey. Okay. And so one of the questions that I got, and I'm going to address on this video, was how was it I was able to actually train for and run 2 half marathons while being on, such a restrictive diet, for lack of a better word, with the Daniel fast. And I will tell you that part of it absolutely was not easy. That was not an easy feat, simply because of what I use to train and what I use for my race day fuel and nutrition. They're sugar based. When you're talking about the Cliff Bars and the Goo Energy gels, and my electrolyte drinks like Gatorade, etc. So they obviously would have incorporated ingredients that are not allowed when you are engaged in the Daniel fast. And so I will definitely say that by far was one of the most difficult aspects of going plant-based for this month. Definitely, because when I ran my first half marathon for the month, at mile 9, I began to feel lightheaded and really not feeling or questioning if I was going to actually have the strength and the endurance to continue. And by the grace of God, obviously I did. And not only did I do that, I actually ran my personal best. But I still have that to say that it is not easy, and you definitely have to lean heavily on your whole grains during that time for carb loading. Okay, so as opposed, to the white starchy pastas, I really had to forego that, and I really had to up my consumption of like the whole grain breads and the brown rice, and the whole grain pastas and all of that good stuff. And so I say all of that to say that when I'm actually training for a race, or when you're training for a race, it can be done, but it just requires some planning in advance and, of course, planning your meals on the whole. Okay, so this is month 1 of my plant-based journey. So make sure to tune, and I'm going to be doing these uploads. I'm going to try to do them maybe like every month, maybe with a little check-in at the 2-week mark or the halfway mark of the month, just so you guys can see where I'm at and see, some of the changes that I've been going through month to month. Okay, so that is month 1. We're heading to the end of January. That is a wrap. And so continue to stay locked in and subscribed to my YouTube channel to follow my plant-based journey.